Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, the Astros open a 3-game series with the Washington Nationals from the NL East. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays getting our first look at the Nationals this season, and they've been playing pretty well. They changed managers. They're one game under 500. That doesn't get them in contention right now in the East, but still a respectable team right now, JD.
And a team to keep an eye on not only for this year, but going forward. A lot of young, talented players, both in the big leagues right now and on the rise through the minor league system. Of course, Bryce Harper and Steven Strasburg, when they get him back from injury, they have a lot of speed in their lineup, and they defend pretty well. The Astros dropped 2 out of 3 over the weekend to the Pittsburgh Pirates, but one guy who really stood out, Jeff Keppinger, moving into the 3-hole, and he has responded quite well, hitting .462 in that series with the Buccos. Couple of doubles, couple of home runs, 321 since June 25th. Couple of home runs into the Crawford boxes, picking on those fastballs, getting the lefty there, and that's no surprise. He wears out left-handed pitching, so we'll see if Keppinger can keep this hot streak alive. In the 3-hole this year, he's hitting .441 with an on-base plus slugging up over 1,100. So perhaps his strategy of Keppinger in front of Pence will pay off.
Coming up from Minute Maid Park in Houston, a longtime foe of the Astros, Jason Marquis, will be on the hill for the Nationals, and Jordan Lyles tries to nail down that first Major League win next. Washington Nationals. And as we check the lineup for Davey Johnson, who took over as the skipper for the Nationals from Jim Riggleman, he begins with Roger Bernardina in center field. He follows him up with Danny Espinosa, the second baseman, a strong Rookie of the Year candidate. Ryan Zimmerman's at third base. And the cleanup man is first baseman Michael Morse, who's really been hitting well this year. It's Jason Worth in right field, Lance Nix in left, Wilson Ramos is the catcher, Ian Desmond a good fielding shortstop, Jason Marquis is the pitcher.
Jordan Lyles still in pursuit of his first major league win. He's 0-4 through 8 starts. He's pitched well enough to win a number of those ball games, but struggled a little bit last time out. It was about 10 days ago in Florida. Ball game in which he allowed 5 runs in 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 walks, punched out 3. Defensively, it's Michaels, Bourne, and Pence in the outfield. Johnson, Sanchez, Keppinger, Lee on the infield. Carlos Corporon behind the plate.
Leadoff man is speedy center fielder Roger Bernardina. There's a fastball to him, and it's strike 1 to Bernardina. 263 is his current average, including 5 homers, 20 runs batted in. Fastball lights it up for Bill Welke, the home plate umpire, and an 0-2 count to Bernardina. Has a 319 on base average. He's gone.
See ya. Hey, that was a little hawk. He go. Finally breaking out the hawk.
You got to try a different routine tonight, pal.
He go.
3 pitches though.
Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What else we got?
Well, it's a pretty good start. We'll add a few later on. Got to pace yourself a little bit.
Tic tac and toe. I don't even have my red pen ready to mark my strikeout in the scoreboard.
Wow.
This is a colossal problem.
That was quick. There's
there
ball 1 to Danny Espinosa now. With 17 homers, 55 runs batted in. He leads all National League rookies in both homers and runs batted in. Also in total bases. Just a spectacular first half for Danny Espinosa.
Doesn't hit for a high average, but home runs, RBIs. He could steal a base for you.
It's in the air, and Carlos Lee drifts over to foul ground for it. 2 out for Jordan Lyles.
That's the one thing that the Nationals have is a lot of high ceiling young players, guys who have a chance to be really good major leaguers just based on their tools. You know, Bernardina is one of them. Espinosa, Desmond the shortstop, Ramos the catcher. Now, Davey Johnson, though, he's a veteran of many years, but it had been a while since he'd been in a big league dugout before taking this gig.
Certainly had been. Has a fabulous career winning percentage as a major league manager. Ryan Zimmerman missed a couple of months. He had abdominal surgery. There's strike 1. So with Zimmerman at 248, 4 homers, 17 runs batted in, he's not anywhere close to his normal neighborhood by this time of the season. That one got away a little bit out of Lyles' hand. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Lyles making his 9th major league start with those numbers.
Yeah, like I said, it's been kind of a mixed bag for him, but I would say more good than bad. He just hasn't picked up a win yet.
Well, he has picked up a 1-2-3 first inning. And it took 9 pitches for Jordan Lyles to get those 3 outs. Back in a moment. Jason Marquis warms up. Here's the lineup he'll be facing. For the Astros, it's center fielder Michael Bourne. Shortstop Angel Sanchez. Second baseman Jeff Keppinger. Right fielder Hunter Pence. First baseman Carlos Lee. Left fielder Jason Michaels. Third baseman Chris Johnson. Catcher Carlos Corporan. Pitcher Jordan Miles.
Jason Marquis has faced the Astros more than any other team in his major league career. 24 times he's been the starting pitcher. He's 9-8 with an ERA of 5.50. 7-4 this year with a 4.05.
Michael Bourne on a 3-game hitting streak is the first man to face Marquis. Marquis got off to a very nice start. Lately he's had rough outings his last 3 starts, giving up 11 earned runs in 12 1/3 innings in those 3 games.
Walks have been an issue for him through that stretch, and that's the key for the Astros against Marquis. Be patient, force him into the strike zone. Likes to sink the fastball, has a good slider.
That one goes outside, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to Michael. You saw his batting average. He has 109 hits. That's 5th in the league. Marquis 7-4.
League hitting .291 against him, but he's allowed just 8 home runs.
Brings that one in, and it's a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Bourne is tied for 4th in runs scored in the National League with 60. 5 for 14 in his last 3 games. Slap to shortstop. Desmond gets in front of it. A low throw, and Morse is there to dig it out. 1 out.
Well, the Nationals defensively have Nix, Bernardina, and Worth in the outfield. Zimmerman can really pick it down there at third base. Desmond very athletic and short, but he's made 13 errors. He can get a little careless sometimes. Espinosa and Morse on the right side, and Ramos very good behind the plate. He's thrown out 36% this year. That's a pretty big number.
Angel Sanchez getting a start at shortstop with Clint Barmas resting is at .256 for the season. There's strike 1 to him. Angel with 1 homer, 24 runs batted in. Went 1 for 5 in the Pittsburgh series. Barmas, by the way, is 0 for 11 lifetime against Marquis. Held on to that one just a fraction too long, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Sanchez came up with a pinch hit in yesterday's game. I mentioned all the career starts for Marquis against the Astros, more than against any other club. Well, he's been in the Central Division for years when he was a Cardinal and a Cub, so he's piled up a lot of appearances.
Started with the Braves and then traded over to St. Louis.
2-2. Well, this year he was spectacular in April. 5 quality starts out of 5, a 3-0 record. Then he stretched that out to a 5-1 start, and at that point after that he was 7-2 with a 3.53 ERA. He's been very good in the early portion of ball games. 2.92 ERA in the first 3 innings. The dirt, and it's a full count to Angel Sanchez.
He earned that reputation early in his career. That was the knock on Jason. That, hey, this guy's got good stuff, but if you hang around, if you just continue to battle, he'll give you a chance to beat him. He'll end up walking a couple guys.
There's a throw from Zimmerman, and he's really had to work on that throwing, JD, and trying to get that hand up higher. He used to kind of sling the ball, dropping down on it, but when he was on the disabled list, he worked on getting a different arm angle, and he's had some problems with it.
Well, it becomes a mental thing. He really struggled with it last year.
Yeah, that kind of looked like he was thinking his way through that throw. Jeff Keppinger at .314 with 4 homers, has 20 runs batted in. Sometimes you make too much out of it when you know a player's had problems. That one's rolled to Zimmerman. Very deliberate on that, and it's another ground ball out. Marquis got 3 of those, and it's no score after 1.
Saturday, August 6th, the Astros host the Brewers at 6:05, and after the game, fans can enjoy the Praise in the Park program featuring comedian Marcus Wiley and a concert with 2010 Best Gospel Artist Award winner Marvin Sapp. Get your discounted tickets by going to astros.com/praise tonight. Back to you, Brownie.
Thank you, Bart. There is ball one as the second inning opens with Mike Morse leading it off. And the slugging first sacker with 49 runs batted in carries a .300 batting average. He's gone deep 15 times. And a very pleasant story for the Nationals. Taps that one foul. It's a 1-1 strike count. Morse, 28 years old, a journeyman. Last year in 266 at bats, he put up good numbers, but now he's become an everyday player. He's taken it to the next level. Adam LaRoche got hurt, had to have shoulder surgery. That opened up first base. Morse for the liner to right. One out for Jordan Lyles.
Say it all the time. One man's misfortune, another man's opportunity in this game, and Morse has taken full advantage of his chance.
Lyles has 4 straight outs. Now it's Jason Worth. Worth signed a 7-year contract as a free agent over the winter for $126 million. He has 10 homers, 31 runs batted in, and a .213 batting average. Leads the Nationals in walks with 47. He used to rip the ball when the Nationals played against the Phillies. There's strike one to Worth. And they acknowledge that they may have overpaid to get him, but in their situation in the standings, and they've finished last in 5 of the last 6 years, they realized they had to offer a little bit more inducement than some of the other clubs who were competing for his services. Things not going all that well for Jason so far this season. Davey Johnson, of course, hoping for a big turnaround. They've seen the talent that he possesses. That was a strikeout on 3 pitches for Jordan Lyles, just as the Bernardina strikeout to open the game.
Bernardina caught looking at a ball in the zone. Worth chasing a ball out of the zone. It's Lyles able to elevate that fastball and throw it by him.
30-year-old Lance Nix comes up next. Former Texas Ranger. Born in Houston. He went to high school in Midland. .274 for Lance, 12 homers. He's driven in 33. Played for Cincinnati last year. This one goes to left field. Jason Michaels over toward the line. The second inning goes very quickly as well, with only 7 pitches needed by Jordan Lyles for a total of 16. 0-0.
Baseball fan Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. AT.com. They're going to do that as well. He's on it right now.
Yeah, he is. Thank you, Greg. Sunglasses are out over there in the sun part of the stands. And the icy treats are ready as Hunter Pence steps up. He's hoping to provide a treat of his own. And he's done that several times this year with an excellent first half. He looks at strike one with 11 homers, 61 runs batted in. He sports a .321 batting average.
Choppy waters ahead for Marquis if past performance means anything. The three hitters due up in this inning, all with very good numbers against Marquis.
Hunter's 11 for 22 against him with a homer and 6 runs batted in, including 4 walks.
He's hit 500 against him. Carlos has hit 400 against him. And Jason Michaels has hit 700 against him. So that explains Jason Michaels in the lineup tonight. I can hardly see Ramos behind the plate. It's a camouflage.
Inside for a ball. It's 1-2.
I guess that makes the mitt stand out, right? Maybe that's the philosophy behind that.
Perhaps we'll have to ask around. Big ground ball to fly ball ratio in favor of the grounders for Marquis, 2.1. He's always been one of the top ground ball pitchers.
And in this ballpark in Washington, you can afford to elevate the ball, so it's actually a good fit. You normally think, well, fly ball pitcher would be a great fit there, but sinker ballers work everywhere. You can get a lot of outs on the ground, and then if you do make a mistake and they whack one in the air, plenty of room to make a mistake in that yard.
That one really dropped, and it's strikeout number 1 for Marquis.
I talked about Marquis last inning and the knock on him, but the bottom line is he's been a pretty good major league pitcher over his career. He's got 103 wins, 96 losses. ERA a little high at 4.53, but pretty durable. Good solid pitcher. Very good athlete. Handles the position well and one of the better hitting pitchers in the game.
5 career homers. Carlos Lee, as JD mentioned, a .400 hitter against Marquis. Backs away and it's strike 1. 7 homers this season for El Caballo with 48 runs batted in, and his average is .268. He went 3 for 12 in the Pirates series. No balls, 2 strikes. Good sharp downward break on that slider for the 32-year-old right-hander from New York. 16 for 40. One ball, 2 strikes. Marquis was drafted by the Braves. They traded him to the Cardinals in 2003. Then he became a free agent, signing with the Cubs. Moved along to Colorado. Washington got him prior to last year. 103.96 with a 4.53. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's been on a lot of good teams and has had a chance to learn a whole lot about pitching during his career.
Kind of like the right-handed version of Mike Hampton without the consistency with that sinker. Throughout his career, he's probably been a guy who's made more mistakes.
That's true, and you capsulized it earlier. When he's on, he can mow down the hitters. Last year he was 2-9 with a 6.60 ERA. 13 starts. He went on the DL with bone chips in his elbow. Tap foul.
A little hesitation he has at the top of his delivery there probably helps add a little deception, but I think it could be problematic too in terms of your rhythm and your tempo out there. That little hesitation could throw your timing off, I would think.
Yeah.
This little move right here, there's a hesitation and then go.
Yeah. And he lost that one, not close, and it's ball 4 to Lee, first base runner of the game. 35th walk in 108 innings for Marquis. Marquis was 15-7 back in 2004 for the Cardinals. But in 2006, he had a terrible year, 14-16 with a 6.02 ERA. But he consistently was in double figures and wins 6 straight years from 2004 through 2009. He was an all-star in 2009.
Yeah, that year he had the ERA above 6. Tony La Russa left him in to take a couple of real bad beatings.
That's true.
12 or 13 run outings twice that year. And I'm not putting it on Tony. He may have been in a position, his bullpen might have been beat up, or there probably were circumstances that caused him to do it, because we know Tony's not afraid to make a pitching change. But I do remember that year Jason was left out there to give up a couple of big ones.
That's true. I had forgotten that. Jason Michaels, 7 for 10 lifetime against Marquis. Takes a strike to even the count at 1-1. 2:08 for J. Mike with 2 homers, 8 runs batted in. So with Brett Wallace on the bench tonight, it's a little unusual to have Michaels playing against a right-handed starter and Carlos Lee at first base. But the numbers have spoken to Brad Mills. Foul to win. It's 1-2.
7 out of 10. That's pretty impressive. You normally, you would like to see more at bats to really get a sense of one guy versus another. But when it's 7 out of 10, that kind of jumps out at you.
Sure does. Chris Johnson on deck. The Astros have dropped 30 of their last 38 games. They're 31-64. 2-11 in the month of July. Tough pitch for a strikeout. That's number 2. Well, he ran that in a place where very few right-handed hitters would be able to do anything with it.
Little turbo sinker running towards that back ankle. If he hits that, it's going to foul it off his shin, most likely.
Yeah.
And this combination would be tough to steal on. Not that Carlos would be inclined to try to steal a base here, but Bourne or Pence are one of the guys who might think about stealing. This is a tough combination, Marquis and Ramos.
Chris Johnson had a big RBI double to tie the game yesterday. There's strike 1 to Chris. 246 with 6 homers. He's driven in 35. That came with 2 outs in the 8th inning to create a 4-4 game. Chris 2 for 5 with an RBI in the Pittsburgh series. Fouls that one away, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Get well wishes go out to Nolan Ryan today, who's in a Houston hospital. And from what we hear, he's doing well. Went in for a checkup on his heart. And evidently all the tests are coming out very nicely. And he was to have made a road trip with the Rangers, but he's going to hang here for a few days. It's 1-2.
Nolan had bypass surgery some years ago, and there's a history in the family of heart disease. Kind of ironic that he would suffer from heart disease. A guy as a player, you never question Nolan's heart.
No, he'd stay out there for 350 pitches.
King of the hill, man.
Yeah. Davey Johnson at age 68 taking over the reins. He was an advisor to Mike Rizzo, the general manager. 2 balls, 2 strikes. JD can flash back, and Nolan and a lot of other people to 1986 when Davey Johnson was managing the New York Mets for that great playoff series, the league championship series in the Astrodome.
One of the ironic things is Davey Johnson made the last out of the '69 World Series. Ooh. Batting for the Orioles against the Mets. Flew out to left field off Jerry Kuzman.
Oh. Swing and a miss by CJ, and that's a strikeout as Marquis has struck out the side here in the 2nd inning with no runs, no hits, and a man stranded. There is no score after a couple.
129th career home run at Detroit's Maven Field. Bested Roger Connor, the old Waterbury, Connecticut left-handed slugger who at one point hit a ball all the way out of the old Polo Grounds off one of JD's favorite pitchers, old Hoss Rocker.
Oh, yeah,
that was, he knocked that into 112th Street. But the Babe took over his rightful spot on this day.
Interesting. There's Kay Hill. Is that her sister? Okay, they're watching as fans tonight. Usually Kay's working in the truck. And strike one to Wilson Ramos. Kay and her sister were just up here a few minutes ago.
The New York Giants got their name because of Roger Connor. They were the Gothams. And then when he played for them, because he was such a big guy and had such stature in the game, they were nicknamed the Giants.
Well, that's when you know you've had an impact and they named the team after you. 1-2 to Wilson Ramos. JD mentioned he's done an excellent job in throwing out runners, but also with 9 homers, 33 runs batted in. His bat has spoken highly.
Just 23 years of age.
Buzz Rodriguez is on the disabled list right now with a ribcage injury, working his way back. Fouls it.
Came from the Minnesota Twins. I guess that was the Matt Capps deal.
It was.
So, the Twins had Maurer behind the plate, so they could afford to make that deal and move this kid, even though everybody knew he was one of the better catching prospects in the game. Now they might be second-guessing that over in Minnesota because Maurer's had the leg problems. They're talking about playing first base, as he did the other night.
True. Yeah, as you pointed out, Ramos is 23 years old.
And Capps is no longer the closer. To me, that would be one of the toughest things to move. A bona fide catching prospect, a guy who can catch and throw and hit. There's not many of them around.
No. Those guys can catch.
Yeah, they don't hit much.
Don't know about the hitting and throwing part.
Just punch and Judy type hitters.
Yeah. Ramos is from Valencia, Venezuela. The Astros used to have their Venezuelan academy there. And quite promising. He goes for that high breaking ball and fouls it. Jesus Flores was promising also at one point, but he's had shoulder surgery, missed last season, and hasn't been able to get it going this year. He's on the roster. He's here. But Buzz Rodriguez will be back probably in a few days to reclaim one of those spots. Grounded, diving stop. Chris Johnson throwing. And the tag by Carlos Lee. 7 straight retired by Jordan Lyles. This one took some doing.
Pretty play, dangerous play as that throw sailed up the line a little bit. Carlos got whacked yesterday by Andrew McCutcheon at first base on a ball he had to jump for. But this play even more dangerous as the first baseman reaches into the path of the base runner. Ramos slowing down, trying to take evasive action, actually made it a little bit easier for Carlos. Didn't have to take that hard hit.
Ian Desmond's the batter. And there's strike one to Desmond on an 8-game hitting streak with a .226 batting average. There's the end of that play.
This would be the one time it would be justified to slide at first base.
True. Very much so. No balls, 2 strikes to Desmond. He's 25 years old from Sarasota, Florida. 3rd round pick in 04 by the Nationals. Last year he hit 10 homers and drove in 65 runs. It's a high chop, short hop play. Chris Johnson, good play there. 2 totally different types of plays, and Johnson comes up big on both.
All right. Now he's going to have to range to his left on this one. Just to cover it all. Desmond can really scoot, so he cannot afford to waste any time. Even in Foxmo, you have to hurry.
As you mentioned, Jason Marquis is a threat. With 5 career homers, he hits a 2-hopper here. Keppinger over to Lee. 9 straight retired by Jordan Lyles in a scoreless game in the 3rd.
by Chevy. Check out ChevyBaseball.com/Astros for a chance to win tickets and a trip to the 2011 MLB World Series. Also by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax. Also by your local Texas Ford dealer.
Well, we finally got some rain today in the Houston area. What a glad sight that was after so many weeks of drought and even months of drought. It's been a long, almost record-setting drought so far this year. Got a nice hard rain in some areas of town. You get any out your way, JD?
We did get some, Brownie, yeah. Could have used a little more, but we got some.
Always use more. So it's been a little cooler today, but fans, as always, enjoying the air-conditioned environment of Minute Maid Park. The Astros have a 15-35 record in this ballpark. They would love to start working on that tonight. Carlos Corporan leads it off in the home third inning. Lyles and Bourne to follow. Corporan, a 181 hitter, has 4 runs batted in. Buddy LaMuth threw out the first pitch tonight. He was drafted by the Astros in the June draft. And he's in a wheelchair right now. Had an accident. There's a fly ball hit into right center field. Corporan. First hit of the ball game comes from the catcher. So the Astros went ahead and drafted Buddy anyway, even though he was in the hospital and they knew he would be in a wheelchair and wanted to honor him. They had been scouting him prior to the draft, and he threw out the first pitch tonight. Buddy. San Jacinto College.
Long road of rehabilitation
40th round pick.
Buddy plans to be back.
And Wesley Wright just arrived from Oklahoma City, so he did the honors of catching him. Now Jordan Lyles puts a bunt down. Marquis tossing to the second baseman Espinoza on the 1-4 sacrifice. Corporan to second base. First sacrifice for Lyles this season.
A good bunt. 2 chances to draw first blood here. First chance will come Michael Bourne's way. Nationals outfield will shorten up a little bit. And they'll have a good shot at making a play on Carlos Corporan with a line drive single to the outfield. Dave Clark, I'm sure, down there now looking at those outfielders, seeing where they're positioned.
That's ball 1 to Michael. He's done a nice job with men in scoring position this season. .333.
Bernardino really cheating in at center field.
He is close. Speedy center fielders can do that, but they have to be able to get back to avoid being burned.
Yeah, and I think it's the right play here to cheat in a little bit anyway because of the circumstances I described earlier with Corporan not being a speedy guy. You're gambling that Bourne doesn't drive one over your head.
2 balls and a strike. Nationals had a big month of June, going 17-10. Foul away. Of course, they're in a very difficult division right now.
Sure are. Since mid-June, they've just kind of hovered around 500. Never more than 2 games above or below the 500 mark for the most part.
Phillies have a 3.5 game edge on Atlanta. Atlanta's leading the wild card race. Washington 9 games back in the wild card. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Steven Strasburg is making good progress coming back from his Tommy John surgery. He may pitch in a game for them later this year.
Nationals next to last in the National League in batting average. When you consider their home ballpark and the fact that they play so many games against that Phillies staff and the Braves staff, you can understand why they would have a low batting average.
Yeah. Strikeout of Bourne. That's number 4. And a big one for Marquis as the runner holds at second. Seems to have a good slider tonight, JD.
It's always been a big pitch for him.
Now Angel Sanchez tries for a big 2-out RBI delivery. He grounded to third in the first inning after working the count full. This one goes foul.
Carlos better be careful there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ramos take a shot in behind him. He had a very aggressive secondary lead, which is the play. You want to give yourself a chance to score. He does have the advantage here, moving with the swing with 2 outs.
Ian Desmond was moving in behind him earlier at second base. That's a strike. Almost came up out of there pretty quickly. 0-2.
Definitely gotten their attention.
Tomorrow night it's Jay Happ and Jordan Zimmerman at 7:05. In the dirt on the slider, and he gets a strikeout. That's number 5, and it ends the third inning with no runs a hit and a runner stranded at second base. No score.
Game Connect. You can access it through FoxSportsHouston.com, and when you get to the page, the Houston section will send you right to the Astros game, and you'll have all the information you want to know. And down there, there's a place where you can involve live conversation. It's basically a use of Twitter, and you can click on all, and you'll see stuff from all around baseball, or from Fox, or teams, or my friends, or whoever you want, and you can tweet. You can read other people's tweets. You can read stats on the players. For instance, Roger Bernardina has never faced Lyles, of course. That's on here. It has his breakdown of lefties versus righties. He's 253 versus righties, 225 versus lefties. In other words, he's going to tell you all the things that make announcers obsolete. So let's go back to the obsolete announcers.
I think we should just take an inning off every night and just throw that Game Connect panel up there on the screen, and we'll just go from there.
All right, let's make it the 9th then. 1-2 count. And the previous pitch hit the knob of the bat. So it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count now for Jordan Lyles.
If you check out Bernardina's splits there on that website, you'll find that he's really been bad on the road this year. Less than 200.
That qualifies as bad.
Yeah.
Roger, 27 years old. He's from Curacao. Signed as a free agent with this Washington organization in 01. But at that point, it was the Montreal organization, wasn't it? 3 balls, 2 strikes. And ball 4 is inside. Leadoff walk to a man with 15 steals in 17 attempts.
Guy that doesn't walk all that often, Bernardina. Had just drawn 16 free passes prior to that one.
Trent Jewett is the first base coach. Pat Corrales is the bench coach for Davy Johnson. There was a little coaching shuffle. John McLaren, who was the bench coach for Jim Riggleman, took over for 3 games as the manager. Now he's been reassigned. Danny Espinosa fouled out to Carlos Lee in the first inning.
What's Davey weigh? About $150 these days?
Yeah, he's very, very thin. Foul away, strike 1. He was telling stories before the game about his time as a player in Japan.
He really had an interesting career.
Yeah. He really got into it. He learned the language, and things went quite well for him in Japan.
Slugging second baseman for a number of years in the major leagues. Atlanta and Baltimore, World Series winner in Baltimore, and then managing the Mets.
Ground ball sharply hit. Diving stop. Sanchez, Keppinger, and Lee. Beautiful double play.
That was pretty slick. Tip of the cap from Angel, and deservedly so. It's like there's Drupal Cabrera out there.
Oh, that was spectacular.
Very nice.
Ryan Zimmerman hit a fly ball to center earlier. Now, that ball almost was behind Angel when he gloved it, and then Keppinger, with his back to the runner, was able to take that perfect shovel out of the glove and make a quick turn on it as he crossed the bag. 1-1 to Zimmerman.
It's a glovel, Brownie. A glovel. Yeah, we can make a new sniglet. Create a new word.
All right.
Shovel it with the glove. It's a glovel.
Glovel.
I'll save you a word or two. It's a long year. You want to save your pipes.
I have to tell Dave Raymond about that too. 2 balls and strike. Zimmerman is quite a player, just trying to reestablish himself now after winning a Silver Slugger last year. He hit 25 homers, drove in 85 runs.
Well, and even though he's been around a while, you have to put him into that group of young, high ceiling players we were talking about earlier. He's still just 26 years of age. So you can understand with what they have here and what they've got coming why they're pretty optimistic in the nation's capital.
True. And you can understand the thinking behind signing a veteran player who had reached a pretty high status in Jason Worth. Whether it works out, but they have 7 years for it to work out. 3-2 the count to Zimmerman. They wanted to add an established guy to the mix that they had. Hopefully that Strasburg can come back and do big things for them. 2 hopper goes to Keppinger. And in the 4th, it's no runs, no hits, nobody left, and still Lyles has faced the minimum after that spectacular double play, and it's no score.
of the fourth. Hey, fans, for a limited time only, the Astros are offering you the steal of the season with the 10 for $20 plan. You can get outfield deck tickets to 10 pre-selected home games for just $2 a game. Those tickets are available only online, so go to Astros.com to get yours. $2 for a ticket to a Major League game, guys.
Oh, that is a spectacular deal. Thanks, Bart. Jeff Keppinger, the batter, takes strike one. Jason Marquis has 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. He's given up a single to Corporon. That's been it as far as hits, and he's walked 1. Keppinger grounded out to third earlier on the first pitch. Takes another one there and falls behind 0-2. Keppinger had a big series against the Pirates, going 6 for 13 with 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. He's homered in back-to-back games. In the air, and Ryan Zimmerman is calling. 1 out.
Jason Marquis off to a very nice start here this evening, and Ronnie alluded to this earlier. First 3 innings this season, he has an ERA of 2.92, but after that, things get a little rugged for the right-hander. The Astros can create a little damage here.
Washington had a stressed bullpen yesterday because the starter had to come out after 2 innings with an injury. Hunter Pence takes ball 1. Hunter struck out in the 2nd inning. Tom Gorzelani was injured in a collision at the plate. He was the starter yesterday. 1 hopper. Zimmerman threw that one from down under. He's more like a shortstop playing third base with his range.
He was a shortstop in college. It's interesting he's had those throwing problems, but a play like that where he's on the move, where he doesn't have to think about it, is no problem. When he gets that routine 2 hopper and he has plenty of time to set up, and that old frontal lobe gets involved.
Doggone that thing. No, let's get involved. Carlos Lee drew a walk on a 3-2 pitch back in the 2nd. The way we heard the story on Zimmerman, he was dropping down, as you remember last year, JD, on his throws, and when he was hurt and had the abdominal surgery, the Nationals just decided to try to fix that arm angle as long as he was going to be out for 2 months. So they worked with him on getting the hand up on top for his throwing.
I remember they were doing that last year when we were in Washington before in pregame work.
That's true. 2-1. Marquis usually keeps the infielders active. He's thrown 51 pitches. Batting average against him this season is .291. That one drifts back into the seats for a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Cleveland won at Minnesota in the first end of a day-night doubleheader today. 5-2 the victory for the Tribe. And David Huff got the win, pitching shutout ball while he was in there. Asdrubal Cabrera hit his 17th home run. So the Tribe lengthening its lead over the Twins now to 6 games, but they're playing another game that's going on right now. 0-0 in the 3rd. Strikeout looking. That's number 6 for Marquis. And we have a very quick 4 innings behind us tonight with no score.
It's time for AT&T Trivia. And here's a tough one. In the 1960 American League expansion draft, which two future Colt 45 pitchers did the new Senators select?
Well, one was Bobby Shantz.
One is correct. He was traded to Pittsburgh 2 days later, then selected by Houston the next fall in the National League draft.
Yeah. The other one may require a little work or looking it up.
Well, we'll let it sit there for a while and ponder.
High drive by Morse. This one will make it 1-0 Nationals as it stays fair. Number 16 of the season for Mike Morse gives him 50 runs batted in, and that's the first hit for Washington.
Hit the ball pretty hard to right field last time up, and the only question about this one was would it twist foul or not. You knew it had home run distance as soon as it left his bat. Strong dude. Better take a little off that high five for Davey. I'll have him tumbling back into the clubhouse.
Yeah, he will.
Breaking ball just kind of sat on the inner half.
Now a foul ball by Jason Worth puts him behind 0-1. He struck out in the second inning. That's the 7th long ball surrendered by Lyles in 51 innings.
And just like that, the no-hitter and the shutout were gone.
All in one swing.
Trying to go down and away with the breaker, just didn't get it there.
That's hit to shortstop. Sanchez in, throwing the lead. And we've noticed this about Lyles. You've observed it several times this season. He's not afraid to come back with a pitch after getting ripped with that same pitch, JD.
No, you're absolutely right. He's got a lot of confidence in his stuff, a lot of savvy, a lot of moxie, as they say. Tremendous mound presence.
Give you a clue on the second person on the trivia question. He was part of the original Colt 45s, but he was not in the expansion draft.
Boods says Don Button.
Nope.
All right.
Chance was interesting, though, wasn't he? You know, you're doing research for a book because he was in 2 expansion drafts in a row.
That's right. So you might wonder, well, why would he be made available for a second one? Well, he had arm problems.
Yeah, and he was in the National League. That was the only leagues they picked from in those days were the 2 leagues that were expanding. And so with the second year, he was actually selected from Pittsburgh after he was traded.
But Hal Woodashik.
Oh, nice, JD.
You got it.
He's like the only one I know from that team.
Well, he was dealt to Detroit by Washington after he was taken in the draft and then purchased by Houston in October of '61. So he was not drafted by Houston, but purchased.
Good work.
It was either he or Joel Rifkin.
Joel Rifkin? 3-2 to Knicks. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are in a delay. And that is a foul tip strikeout. Number 3 for Lyles.
Here's the official answer. This is when it goes up on the boards and all bets are paid off. Bobby Shantz and Hal Woodashik. Both were actually with the original Washington club as draftees. Both came to the original Astros club. One as a draftee, the other in a trade.
And ironically, they were 2 of the 3 pitchers who started games in the first ever series for the Colt 45s when they swept the Cubs. It's strike 1 to Ramos. Ramos hit the ground ball to third, and that was a diving play by Chris Johnson back in the 3rd inning.
If you're wondering why Brownie is extremely good on these Astro history questions, that's what he's been doing for the last year or so, researching the first 50 years.
It's fun to look back into history and especially talk to the guys who were there in the beginning. A lot of great stories, Greg. No balls, 2 strikes to Ramos. And that's upstairs. The Nationals are only 13th in runs scored. 367 this season. They're averaging under 4 runs per game. Ripped foul. But the last 2 games, they unloaded on 2 of the Braves' top starters, Tommy Hanson and Jair Jurgens. Doing a number on both of those guys. There's a lightning delay with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh in the top of the 1st. There was a rain delay at the beginning of about an hour. They started. Charlie Morton on the mound. He's given up a hit and he's walked a man. Worked 2/3 of an inning, and now the game's shut down by lightning, and Dontrell Willis is waiting to pitch for Cincinnati. It's 2-2 for Jordan Lyles. Astros starting pitchers, as you see the excellent number on Lyles. 17 wins, 44 losses. 2 Hopper. Sanchez with the play. So after the homer, Lyles comes back to get the next 3 in order, and it's 1-0 Washington. Let's check out the Farmer's Report card to update you on him at Oklahoma City this season with excellent numbers. 48 innings, a 2-1 record, a 2.63 ERA. Batting average against him, .211. He had experimented with dropping down on his arm slot, but now is back where he was a couple years ago and with very good numbers. And as he rejoined the Astros today with the paternity leave for Matt Downs, enabling Brad Mills to bring up a player from AAA. Brad told him, "You may be here for just a few days, but you have certainly earned this promotion." Excellent work this year.
So an extra man in the bullpen, a man short on the bench.
Jason Michaels, line drive, trucks the left field line. It's into the corner, and Michaels gets hit number 8 of his career off Jason Marquis in 12 at bats. Second hit for the Astros, and it happens to be a leadoff double.
So make him 8 out of 12 now in his career off Jason Marquis.
Always nice to have that extra base hit leading off an inning. Nationals got a homer. That's even nicer. But takes that double play ball out of the equation, and Marquis gets a lot of those. 5 doubles for Michaels. Now it's Johnson. Johnson struck out in the second inning. That's ripped on a line, and Nix is over and catching it. That ball was blistered by Johnson for out number 1.
It's battling the lights a little bit, ultimately able to put it away. Just a tough break for CJ. Can't swing it any better than that. He crushed that ball.
Nix right there for the first out. Now Carlos Corporan, who had the first Houston hit, and that was a single in the third inning. Marquis has induced 14 double play balls on the ground this season. That's 4th in the National League. Ball 1 in tight with Jordan Lyles on deck.
For what it's worth, the Astros hit the ball on the ground more than any other team in the league. Helps to explain that low home run total. Rarely does a ground ball leave the ballpark.
Haven't seen one yet.
No,
one ball was.
Hit a ramp. Maybe if you go going rolling up Tal's Hill fast enough.
Maybe. Braun watches it go, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Cubs lead the Phillies 3-1. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Chicago. Jimmy Rollins hit his 9th. He has really heated it up the last week or so for the Phillies. Aramis Ramirez hit number 17. He's been torrid as well. Ripped into the right field corner. That'll tie it 1-1. Corporon, as it rattles around, heads for second base. Worth picks it out. And it's an RBI double to make it a 1-1 game. 6th double of the year for Corporon. That's RBI number 5 for Carlos. And it's a pair of doubles in the inning.
I think I have that batting average up off the interstate now. And Carlos had shown signs before the All-Star break. He had some pretty good swings prior to the break and able to pick up where he left off here starting the second half. Gets that front foot down, the hands back locked and loaded. Morse not able to react quickly enough to even get a piece of that one.
Jordan Lyles with strike 1. Put down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning. He got his first major league hit in his debut at Wrigley Field on May 31st. It's been his only hit so far in 12 at bats.
Look at his first RBI right here.
Beats that one into the ground to Dave Clark, and it's 0-2.
Hit it over somebody's head, though, or hit it in the corner. And outfielders, again, very, very shallow with Corporon on second base. Probably justify moving in even more now that it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Snap foul.
If you're down in the count like this, much more likely to take a defensive swing.
One and 2 for Jason Marquis.
Corporon, tighten up those shoes. He's sensing action.
Dancing her out on second. Miles is down on strikes. 2 outs. That's 7 strikeouts for Marquis.
So much for that prediction.
You put it out there. It was bold, but every now and then you have to go for it.
Throw it out there. That's right.
Michael Bourne was out on a grounder to shortstop in the 1st. In the 3rd inning, he struck out. Nationals had a whole lot of work out of their bullpen yesterday. Henry Rodriguez, Burnett, Clifford, Matthews all worked in that game. Slowly rolled to second base. Espinosa over to first, and it's 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left for the Astros. After 5, it's 1-1.
Sports Houston is brought to you by AT&T, Rethink Possible, and by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. As the game moves on, let's go back upstairs to Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Beautiful skies over downtown Houston. Greg Lucas, and it's turning into a pretty night. Very good ball game through 5. It's tied 1-1. Both clubs scoring in inning number 5. Jordan Lyles will face Desmond, Marquis, and Bernardina here in the Washington 6th. Nationals have 12 wins this year when they score 2 or fewer runs. Bouncer shortstop. Angel Sanchez takes care of out number 1 on 1 pitch for Lyles. 63 pitches for Jordan so far.
Yeah, boy, very aggressive early on, getting the jump on these hitters. 14 of the 17 batters he has faced have seen strike 1.
Marquis grounded out on the first pitch back in the 3rd inning. Doug Brocail has to be enjoying the work of Jordan Lyles tonight. And there's another first pitch strike. Johnson coming in at 3rd, and the ball is up the left field line, headed for the seats. Michaels over for a look, and it's several rows back. No balls, 2 strikes. Good play there. And a swing and a miss. Wicked breaking ball strikes out Marquis. That's number 4 for Lyles.
That's exactly where you want to throw a 2-strike breaking ball. You don't want to leave it in the zone. You want to show zone and then break down into the dirt and get that swing and miss.
Two down, and that's 5 straight outs for Lyles after the homer by Morse. Bernardina's next. He struck out looking and he walked. And strike 1 to him. Nationals are 14th in a 16-team league in on-base average. It's 0-2. They lost 2 of 3 in Atlanta. They're on a 9-game road trip. They go to the Los Angeles Dodgers ballpark, Dodger Stadium, after this series. Back to Lyles. That's an easy 6th inning in 1-2-3 fashion, and it's 1-1 after 5.5.
Available every Astros home game. You know what you love it. All-you-can-eat tickets get you a mezzanine seat and all-you-can-eat hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, soda, and water, all for just $30. Take advantage of one of the best values in the ballpark and buy your tickets at Astros.com. And when you get up there, give yourselves plenty of room to work. Guys, back to you.
You know all about that, Bart.
Absolutely.
You're a specialist. It's a 1-1 game, bottom of the 6th inning. Sanchez, Keppinger, and Pence due up against Jason Marquis. 3 hits for the Astros, 1 for the Nationals. 4 hits for the Astros as Sanchez gets it past the diving shortstop Desmond. Leadoff single here in the 6th. Bobby Meacham looking across with Angel at Dave Clark's signs. He got a pitch right over the plate.
Trying to clip that outside corner with a 2-seam fastball, but he got too much run on it. Came back toward the middle. Angel put a good swing on it. Desmond a little late to the party.
He'll make a lot of parties, though, with his range at shortstop. You know, this could be a great double play combo for them for years to come. Keppinger's 0 for 2. They're both excellent glove men, Desmond and Espinosa. And you can understand a little bit Mike Rizzo projecting things years down the line, wanting to build around that core in the middle infield of Desmond at short and Espinosa at second. Add some parts to that. Good young catcher in Ramos.
Strong up the middle.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper on his way.
There's another one. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was an epic 1-0 game in 16 last night. Boston beating Tampa Bay. Boston had to travel and is at Baltimore tonight, and it's a 7-7 game in the 7th inning. Check and see if Carl Crawford is back in the lineup. He was supposed to be in that lineup tonight, coming off the disabled list. In the air with a runner going, and it's near the left field line. Nick's coming over, and Nick's in fair territory, has it. 1 out.
And playing a little hit and run there, and makes sense again because of the ground balls that Marquis tends to get. Start a base runner to stay out of a double play. That does create a tough situation sometimes for the hitter, where he's obligated to go after a ball that might be out of his zone or out of the strike zone.
Hunter Pence has struck out and bounced out to third. Carl Crawford is in the lineup tonight. He's 1 for 4 for the Red Sox. Wakefield and Bergeson started the game. Saltalamacchia hit his 7th, and Reddick number 4 for the Red Sox.
Tampa losing that game last night, but to shut the Red Sox, that lineup out for 15 innings.
Isn't that something? They had to go way back to find the last American League 1-0 game that went that long. It was July 7th, 1986. Hunter Pence pops it up. Ramos off of the mask. There's the tag, but Sanchez was just trying to see if he could catch them in a lull, and that wasn't going to be the case. 2 outs.
And if you were to ask me, without knowing who got the game-winning hit for the Red Sox in the 16th inning, I would have laid my money on Dustin Pedroia.
Yeah, I would have too.
Because the Energizer Bunny, he's still going to have a little something left in the 16th, but everybody else is dragging.
Yeah, he did an interview after the game. I don't know if you saw it on any clips today, but he referred to how tired everybody was, and he said, well, Carl Crawford's coming off the DL. He's already in Baltimore. He'll be ready to go tomorrow night. Carlos Lee wraps one by the third baseman Zimmerman. Into the corner. Sanchez coming to third. Dave Clark is going to windmill him home. Here's Nix with the throw, and the relay doesn't come in. It's 2-1. Lee with an RBI double. 26th double for El Caballo. He began the night tied for second in the league in 2 base hits. That gives him 49 runs batted in.
We talked about the success that some of these Astros hitters have had against Marquis. Carlos being prominent among them. And all the way into the corner it goes. And that was the key. If Nick's not able to cut that ball off, that's what gave Dave Clark the green light. Go ahead, Angel. You're good to go.
That's a tough one for Dave, too, because it's hard to see in that corner from foul territory where he was. Now, they're going to appeal that Sanchez missed third base, or are they? Let's see now. All right, there was time called. So now they're going to have to put the ball back in play. for the appeal that Sanchez missed third base. Now it's in play. And the appeal does not work.
It was down there at third base. He was a third base umpire. You could save everybody all the time.
Marty Foster.
Yeah, just say, he's good. He got it. That's just play.
Yeah. Caught the inside corner of it, just the way runners are schooled to do. Now Jason Michaels, he doubled and scored in the fifth. He's 1 for 2. And strike one comes in on his hands.
That's the pitch he got Jason with in his first at bat. So for Marquis now you think about definitely have him aware of that pitch. Maybe I could throw that slider off the corner. Well, went back in. I don't think it was intended to go inside.
No.
That's the thing. He gets such great movement. The catcher's setting up over the outside corner. And it's almost a situation where sometimes the catcher would be better off not moving. When the pitcher gets that much movement, just sit down the middle and let him throw it towards home plate and let the movement take over.
Too far in, and it's 1-2. Matt and Leah Downs welcomed a youngster into the world today, Matthew Jr. In Alabama, 7 pounds 5 ounces. Matt is away for 3 days on paternity leave. Congratulations to the Downs.
Congratulations. Yeah, it's exciting.
Bouncer goes foul. That worked out perfectly for Matt. Got to play in the game yesterday. We understood that she was going to be induced this morning, so he knew when he planned to go home that there's a very good chance of things working out, and they did. And now he gets to spend a couple more days with the youngster. Happy birthday to Roland McElroy. Roland is 77. Jeff's dad.
Jeff's our producer.
Yeah. Well, he worked really hard yesterday, produced the game and the pregame show and the postgame show. Carlos Lee at second. It's a 2-2 count.
Roland shares a birthday with the great Harry Spillman.
Ooh, nice.
As opposed to the Harry Spillman we all know. Just kidding, Harry.
It's 3-2.
Harry, I had that up earlier.
Well, he hit some big pinch hits in his career.
He was born in 1954.
Harry hit something like 373 in the Eastern League in the Cincinnati system one year.
And he sounds just like Hank Hill, which is another bonus.
That's true. Tap foul. Now Michaels has the advantage. Marquis has been crowding him with a lot of these pitches, but 3-2 in the count. He got one up where he could swing at it that time. Michaels a .320 career hitter against the Nationals. Davey Johnson's club from June 10th on has gone 20-12, .625 winning percentage. That's a strikeout to end the Astros' 6th inning. And it is number 8. It's 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left, and it's 2-1 Astros. We'll get you caught up on a 2-1 ball game. Moving to the 7th inning. Mike Morse of Washington broke the scoreless tie with a solo homer on the first pitch of the 5th inning. Carlos Corporon with the RBI double in the 5th inning tied it. And Carlos Lee RBI double broke that tie. 2-1 Astros through 6. Jordan Lyles on the mound, and the 7th inning begins. It's Espinosa in the box. He's 0 for 2.
Starts him with a little changeup. That's been an effective pitch for him tonight.
Danny's hit .319 in his last 29 games. Espinosa's fouled out to first and bounced into that spectacular double play started by Sanchez diving up the middle. Now in, and it's 1-2 as Espinosa takes a big cut. Checking that swing, it goes to a 2-ball 2-strike count on Espinosa with Zimmerman and Morse to follow.
Getting into the later stages of the game, using all of his pitches. He went changeup, sinking fastball, slider, curveball, breaking out the whole kit. An elevated 4-seam fastball. Espinosa, at this stage of this at bat, you just can't zero in on anything. Slider in, it looks like. Didn't get it there.
No, he didn't. Espinosa fouls it. Three balls, 2 strikes. That spun him out of there.
Yeah, they tried to crowd him with a fastball there. And the problem with that is that pitch is rarely a strike. So now you're in a position where you got to go. You got to make a pitch here 3-2 to a guy who's got legitimate pop. And you don't want to walk him either because he can steal a bag on you. A nice pitch with the changeup.
He really did. After that fastball hard inside, following up a soft away. Lyles has 1 walk. That was in the 4th inning. Bernardino led off the inning with a walk, but then the double play ball followed. Jordan now has walked 17 this year in 53 innings. Yeah, that's strike 3. Number 5.
Espinosa saw a little bit of everything, didn't know what to think, and then was paralyzed on that fastball over the outside corner. Lyles has doubled up on his changeup tonight. Perhaps that's what Espinosa was thinking. He's going to come back with another one of those changeups.
Ryan Zimmerman has hit a fly ball to center and bounced to second. That's strike 1 to Zimmerman. The Nationals are 14-10 against the clubs in the NL Central. In the air to right, backing up Hunter Pence, still going at the wall, leaping, and that is an opposite field tying home run. Zimmerman hits number 5 to right field to make it 2-2.
Well, contrast that pitch to the 3-2 changeup that Espinosa fouled off. I said, boy, that was a good pitch. It was a changeup again, but it didn't have that little downward fade on it like the changeup to Espinosa had. That one stayed flat and up a little bit.
Zimmerman put the barrel on it and drove it. Hunter was trying to scramble back there so he could leap, but couldn't get back in time to do that. Now Morse, who homered earlier, takes strike 1. The Nationals are 7th in the National League in long balls. They now have 87. It's 1-1.
Might be one of the big differences between pitching in the big leagues and the minor leagues. Well, the minor league hitters are kind of just geared to hit fastballs. They're up there looking for the fastball, and you get away with more mistakes with your off-speed stuff.
There's a shot into center field. Well, Morse has had 3 good at bats tonight. That's hit number 3. 2 homers and a single, and now it's Jason Worth. Worth has struck out and bounced to short. With the 0 for 2 tonight, he is 10 for his last 78. That's a full-fledged slump.
This game has moved along so quickly you forget you're as late in the ball game as we are.
Yeah.
Here we are in the 7th inning. That was a big home run by Zimmerman. Nothing going on in the Astros pen right now. Jordan Lyles has only thrown 83 pitches.
He's due up 3rd in the bottom of the inning.
And a very high percentage of those pitches have been thrown right where he wanted to. His execution, his location has been outstanding.
That's on the edge. Strike 1 to Worth. Worth, a first-round pick of Baltimore in '97.
Well, typically gives you a tough at bat, even though he's only hitting .212 now. There's a lot of deep counts. He'll take his walks.
It's 1-1. Worth last year hit 27 homers for the Phillies. In '09, he was an all-star. He hit 36 home runs that year. He's been with Toronto and the Dodgers. Upstairs, and did he go? Yep.
A change of address has helped his bottom line financially, but it's not going to help his bottom line on the stat sheet. 2 completely different ballparks, Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philly and Nationals Ballpark in Washington. It's like going from a little cozy 2-bedroom apartment to a big old farmhouse.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is a spacious ballpark. Worth has the ability, though, to coax walks. He's done that throughout his career, and he runs well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a good fit for the Nationals. He plays the whole game. Not a one-dimensional player by any stretch.
Now 2-2. Jordan Lyles had an ERA of 3.20 at Oklahoma City when he was called up. Pitched 59 innings there, and when game time came around, he had 47 this season in the big leagues. Fly ball to right center field. Hunter Pence going for it. 2 down. 18 of 22 first pitch strikes for Jordan Lyles to this point. Lance Nix is 0 for 2.
I promise you, I'll have a scout come up to me tomorrow before tomorrow's game and say, hey, I really like that Lyles kid. It's happened every game he's pitched so far.
It has. The best previous start at home for Jordan was a no decision against Atlanta here. June 11th, they gave up 2 runs in 6 1/3 innings. They allowed 8 hits in that one. And that was another very winnable game for him, but the Astros lost it in the 10th as he went 6 1/3. He's had a few of those. Ball 1 to Nix. Both these bullpens are coming under question as far as who's available tonight after long games yesterday. Mark Melancon threw 29 pitches. It's 1-1. Interesting that the Astros now have added a pitcher in Wesley Wright with Matt Downs away for 3 days. 2 balls and a strike, so that gives them 2 lefties in the bullpen with Sergio Escalona, the other for Brad Mills.
As much as the second lefty just having another fresh arm coming off that extra inning game yesterday.
That could be important. David Johnson's bullpen has a 3.29 ERA. Liner goes foul.
Look out.
Ooh, that hit his seat. Caromed on up several rows. She's happy it did.
High fives all the way around.
Yeah. 20 years old, Jordan Lyles from Hartsville, South Carolina, the second youngest player in the big leagues. Mike Trout, the Angels outfielder, is 19. And his pitching has certainly belied his age. Just tremendous composure. Bouncing Carlos Lee backhands it, tossing back to Lyles for the out at first. Zimmerman ties it with an opposite field long ball. It's 2-2 in the seventh.
Tied at 2. Follow the Astros with MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and a lot more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Astros.com for details. Brownie, back to you.
Oh, there's a captain right there.
Oh, yeah. He is in command. 94 pitches for Jordan Lyles. We're looking out to the Houston bullpen. Nobody warming up at the moment. Lyles is due up third here in the bottom of the seventh inning. It's a 2-2 game, and Chris Johnson leads off. He struck out in the second, hit a wicked line drive to left field in the fifth. This ground ball goes to shortstop, and Desmond takes care of it for out number 1 for Marquis.
He's had a pretty busy night out there.
Sure has. He gets moving quickly. Carlos Corporan is 2 for 2 with an RBI on a double in the fifth inning. He singled in the third. Lyles is on deck. Now we'll get some warm-up action, it appears. And there is some stirring out there. Nobody throwing. That's strike one call.
I think if the Astros were down a run, for sure, they'd be thinking about pinch hitting for Lyles here, but tie game may play it differently.
Round a bunt. Corporan takes that one in tight. 1-1.
Lyles is throwing the ball. I'd leave him in.
94 pitches and only one man left on base. He's given up 2 solo homers and a single.
I think what changes the equation here, if Corporan were to get an extra base hit, then I think you'd probably pinch hit.
Morse is guarding the line at first.
Not only do we not know about availability of certain arms in the Astros bullpen, you have to remember too that the Astros have a short bench, just 4 bench players available for Brad Mills tonight.
Fouled away. Now Wilton Lopez has just started to warm up. It's 2-2 for Jason Marquis.
Not warming up like a guy who's definitely coming into the game, but like a guy who might come into the game depending on the circumstances.
Foul ball. That was pitch number 86 for Marquis in the game. He's due up third in the 8th for Washington. 57 of them have been strikes for Jason. He's had 7 ground ball outs. They finally resumed that Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game. Cincinnati failed to score in the top of the first. In the hole at shortstop. Here's a long throw from Desmond, and what a play. 2 outs.
I talked earlier about his athleticism, the fact that he has made 13 errors this year, but he makes a lot of plays other guys don't make. Enough arm to get that ball all the way there on the fly. Off balance, flying the other way.
That is really good work. Jordan Lyles, 2 outs, nobody on, will bat. There are the pitching lines stacked on top of each other. Pitch counts are close as well. 87 for Marquis, 94 for Lyles, and strike 1. Jordan put down a sac bunt in the 3rd. He struck out in the 5th. Bounces this one, and there's the play by Desmond over to first to make it a 1-2-3 7th. Desmond taking care of all 3 outs, and it's 2-2 moving to the 8th.
Hey, you can meet an Astros player and get a chance to be the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. Come out tomorrow from 11 a.m. to noon for an autograph session with Chris Johnson and Junction Jack at the Whataburger listed below. While there, you can enter to be the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan, win a chance for 2 sweet tickets for the Astros game on September 24th, and Whataburger for a year. So get out there and get your picture made with CJ and enter. Brownie, back to you.
Sounds like a plan, and have some lunch while you're there. Thank you, Bart. CJ getting ready to go at third base. And here's the 8th inning in a 2-2 game. Ramos, Desmond, and Marquis due to bat for the Nationals. Jordan Lyles has 11 ground outs, 5 strikeouts, and 5 fly ball outs through 7. Ramos has acquired 2 of those ground ball outs, one on a grounder to third diving stop by Johnson to his right, and the other in the 5th inning to the shortstop Angel Sanchez. Strike one for Lyles. Bourne, Sanchez, and Keppinger due up in the Astros' 8th inning. Milwaukee and Arizona just getting underway. In Arizona, it's Randy Wolf for the Brewers, Josh Colmenter for the D-backs, and Ryan Braun is not in the lineup tonight. Now Wesley Wright is working in the Houston bullpen. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's 2-1. Lyles looked very sharp in spring training. Went to AAA Oklahoma City, polished his curveball. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Shows that fastball by hitters more often than you would think, too. You know, that one just registering 89 on the radar gun. It's a little sneaky. Gotta be careful, though. This guy's dangerous. I'll try to sink it in.
Ooh, he goes by him with a fastball, and that's strikeout number 6.
Didn't get the sink, didn't get it in, but still got his man. It's a very long stride, carries the ball a long way, and I think that helps add to his deception. Nice fluid delivery, too, so it looks easy. It's nice and easy coming out of his hand, and then next thing you know, it's on you.
Desmond takes strike 1. He's bounced out twice to the left side. Marquis is on deck. 100 pitches for Lyles. The Astros plan to cap his innings for the season around 170. At his present clip, he would run out of innings by early September. Slowly hit to second. Keppinger, 2 outs. Marquis grounded out in the 3rd inning, struck out in the 6th.
Now, a lot of times a young player comes to the big leagues and they have success early. And you're thinking, okay, he's a talented kid. He's really good, whether he's a pitcher or position player. And they say, well, let's see how he deals with a little adversity. Let's see how he responds after he fails. Well, Lyles he's had adversity already. He's made 8 starts, doesn't have a win under his belt yet. He's had good starts and bad starts, and he's been the same guy throughout. That's kind of the last piece of the puzzle. How does a player respond to the good times and the bad times? And if there's ever been a young player come to the big leagues who's maintained an even keel, it's Jordan Lyles. It's been really incredible how his approach has not changed at all, regardless of how things are going for him out there.
Marquis chops one slowly. Keppinger over to lead. 1-2-3, 8th inning. And now, can the Astros get a lead for Jordan Lyles? Can they help him to his first major league win? It's 2-2 in the 8th. Three hits for the Nationals, 2 of them home runs, 5 hits for the Astros. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Bourne, Sanchez, and Keppinger due up.
You see what she just said? I could read her lips.
No.
She said, I told him we were wearing horizontal stripes tonight. And he went vertical.
Oh, yeah. Sure did. Colors almost
not
match.
going to talk to him.
They should be at opposite ends of the row. Michael Bourne watching Jason Marquis warm up. Michael's 0 for 3. Then Sanchez, who's 1 for 3. And Keppinger 0 for 3. Due up in the Houston 8th inning.
Bunt single, bunt him over, steal third, sack fly. Get 3 outs, Astros win.
Seems like a very tried and true formula. And you know, this season, there's a lot more of that going on than we've seen. Well, you go back to 5 years ago, 10 years ago. That's more the norm now, more back to the 1960s era.
Last year we saw a lot of dominant pitching performances, a lot of low-run games, and here we go again this year. Very similar. Bonus trivia for you guys.
All right.
Who was the last man to get a base hit off of Sandy Koufax?
Last man to get a hit off Sandy Koufax.
Dave Johnson.
You are correct, sir.
Nice.
1966 World Series.
Very good. Michael Bourne is grounded out twice, and he struck out tonight. He looks at strike one from Marquis. And Marquis has really reversed that recent trend of struggling, although last time out he lost 2-1, giving up 2 runs in 6 innings.
He had a bunch of walks in the previous 5 or 6 starts. The walks were a real issue, but you know, with the Astros approach, they don't walk very much, so I figured that wasn't going to be an issue tonight. And then I talked about the bunt possibilities, but it's a little tougher with a guy like Marquis on the mound because he is such a good fielder.
2-1.
Michael showing no inclination to bunt so far anyway.
Three balls and a strike to Michael.
Put it in a box right here.
Marquis has walked only Carlos Lee in the 2nd inning.
Something you can yank into that right field corner or let it go.
To left field, that dunks in for a hit in front of Nix. 4-game hitting streak for Michael. You talked earlier about the challenge of stealing a base against this combination of Marquis and Ramos.
Well, we're going to see how the Astros played here. That's why when I threw that out there, I said bunt him to second and then steal third.
Ramos has thrown out 36%. Marquis quick to the plate.
That would be the goal. If you could get him to third with 1 out, Nationals would have to pull the infield in.
Sanchez singled and scored in the 6th inning. He's 1 for 3. Bourne does not have a big lead. The bunt is fouled.
Similar to Corporon's effort in yesterday's ball game. Carlos was squaring late, almost as if he were bunting for a base hit. I'm not sure what the plan here is. Sanchez was thinking about bunting for a base hit, or if that's the technique he uses when he's trying to sacrifice.
He has 7 sacrifices to lead the position players on the Astros.
You know, normally, I would almost argue it's a bad play to try to sacrifice Michael Bourne to second base. Just let him try to steal the base. But this combination is awfully tough to run on. Good effort there either.
0-2 now.
Yeah, now you're down in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. And I'm almost would be inclined to keep the bunt on for fear of Angel grounding into a double play. And that would be the worst case scenario.
He has bounced into 1 double play this season. 206 at bats. And the bunt is still on, and he gets it down. Marquis throwing to first for the sacrifice. Bourne to second. The Astros do what JD suggested, and now it's Jeff Keppinger batting.
Yeah, good job, though. You get 3 shots at it. You don't want to have to wait till that 3rd one to get it down, but as long as you do, that's a successful sacrifice. Now we'll see how Marquis plays it here. The reason why I was suggesting bunt him over and then try to steal third is because typically a pitcher won't use as many tricks to try to hold the base runner at second. Won't use that slide step, won't throw back, won't pick off like he would throw over to first. Espinosa is trying to tighten Michael up a little bit, shadowing him out there as he takes his lead.
Wilton Lopez warming up again. Top 3 hitters in the Nationals order are due up in the 9th.
He's not going anywhere.
1-1.
You've got 2 chances to drive them in, and you've got Keppinger coming off that outstanding weekend against the Pirates, and then you've got Pence, who's been very good throughout his career off Marquis, although he's nothing for 3 tonight.
This will be the 100th pitch for Marquis. One and 2. It's Atlanta 5, Colorado 1. They're in the bottom of the 4th at Coors Field. Freddie Freeman hit his 14th homer. Eric Hinsky number 9.
Freddie Freeman hit his 14th?
Yeah.
Fantastic, Freddie. Just punch one. Boy, almost never see that. Swing and a miss strikeout from Keppinger.
7th strikeout for Keppinger all season, and that's number 9 for Marquis.
Marquis been on his game tonight. A lot of sliders here. Got the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Stayed with that slider. And a swing and a miss there for strike 2. And just stayed right there. Not coming off that slide ball at all.
A big pitch. Hunter Pence is 0 for 3 tonight. Has not gotten the ball out of the infield. Bouncer third. Zimmerman. And in the 8th, it's no runs a hit, a runner stranded. It's 2-2 moving to the 9th. Astros. The Astros bullpen has the best ERA in Major League Baseball since July 4th, 0.64. So far, neither bullpen has had to be a factor in this game. Now we have the 9th inning, and it might change. Jordan Lyles on the mound, Bernardina, Espinosa, Zimmerman due up for the Nationals.
And these are the games where the bullpen really matters. It's one thing to be posting zeros in games when you come into the ball game and your team's down 6-2, but it's games like this where the bullpen really shows itself.
Bernardina's 0 for 2 with a walk. Chris Johnson in very tight at third. The Astros have had 1 win by a starting pitcher in July. And he's around a bunt, but takes a curve in the dirt. Bud Norris won at Pittsburgh July 6th.
It's been 25 games since the Astros have won back-to-back games. It's the second longest streak in baseball active. And surprisingly, the Cincinnati Reds have gone 26 games without winning back-to-back games.
That is surprising.
I mean, they haven't been playing great baseball, but they've been winning, here and there.
Looping fly ball hit on that line drive. Bernardina is on. And that's hit number 4.
I think with a little factoid like that, you would look at your standings and see that the Reds have dropped way out of the race.
Yeah.
They're only 3.5 out.
Now Bernardina with 15 steals in 17 tries is aboard for Espinosa, who's 0 for 3.
Well, here go the Nationals in the exact same place the Astros were in the bottom half of the 8th. Speedy leadoff man reaches. Let's see how Davey Johnson chooses to play it. Different set of circumstances in that the Astros don't stop the running game anywhere near as well as that combination of Marquis and Ramos.
And his number 2 hitter has 17 home runs.
Yeah, so I'm thinking let Espinosa try to inflict some damage, and depending on how the count plays out, maybe Bernardina tries to steal the base. Nope, straight sack.
He does bunt. Lyles over. Bare hands and throws to Carlos Lee, and he had to hurry with it. Sacrifice for Espinosa, moving Bernardina to second, 1 out.
Yeah, it's a tough call because you just took the bat out of the hands of the guy who leads your club in home runs. But he's the 2-hole hitter, and that's part of the job description. This guy's a little like Pedroia, isn't he?
Yeah.
He can play the whole game.
Absolutely. It's his 3rd sacrifice bunt of the year. An intriguing player. Some of the Washington broadcasters are saying, he really is a very strong Rookie of the Year candidate, but we realize that Craig Kimbrell probably is on a pace to get that award. Nonetheless, he is somebody to watch in future years. Espinosa. His range factor among second basemen is the best right now, but it's going to be hard to wrestle that Gold Glove away from Brandon Phillips. They feel he has played Gold Glove caliber defense at second base. Zimmerman hit the home run to right field in the 7th inning to tie it 2-2. He's 1 for 3. Strike to Zimmerman with Morse on deck. For the Astros, Lee, Michaels, and Johnson are due up in the bottom half. Drew Storen, the closer for the Nationals, is warming up. Not a good swing by Zimmerman. No balls, 2 strikes.
Not to belabor the point, but again, Lyles showing a lot of moxie out there because a lot of young pitchers, a lot of pitchers, period, in this situation with the potential winning run out there in second base would get awfully gun shy, not want to throw the ball anywhere near home plate.
He gets a foul ball.
It would be nibble, 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 end up walking the guy. Oh, let's turn it over to the bullpen. Let them deal with it. He's just pitching. He's just going one hitter at a time, doing what he needs to do regardless of the game situation.
His next pitch will be number 111. That'll tie for his high in the big leagues this season. He threw 111 pitches against Atlanta June 11th, but that was in 6 1/3 innings. He's pitched 8 1/3 now. Foul right back underneath us. Fans right below us. Get a little souvenir.
Yeah, come on, man, make the play. There you go. We got it.
All right. That's a lucky customer.
A heart rate monitor on him right now. He would be blowing up.
In tight. Bernardino was getting frisky off second base, so Corcoran drew his arm back.
Zimmerman hit the home run last time up. He hit a changeup that was away, up a little bit. And we talked about Lyles in his presence and his willingness to go back to a pitch, even though somebody beat him on it earlier. And you could almost, if you got inside Zimmerman's head, he'd probably think, there's no way this kid would throw me a changeup after I took him deep on one last time up.
Bouncer, Keppinger was cheating over toward the middle. It's on through into right field. And it's 3-2 Washington. Keppinger was trying to cut into Bernardina's lead. He was cheating towards second, and Zimmerman hit it back to his left for an RBI single.
Yeah, you see Jeff playing Zimmerman to pull too, because not only did he shade him, but he stayed put. So that was part how they wanted to try to pinch on Bernardino a little bit, but it was also just how the scouting report had them designed to play Zimmerman. Just an outstanding effort from Lyles again tonight, and again, the best he can do is a no decision. An outstanding work.
Yeah, 9th major league start for Jordan Lyles. Felipe Paulino made 10 without a win last year. Time for the Verizon call to the bullpen. We'll be right back. Lead 3-2, and with Zimmerman singling in the go-ahead run, he's the runner at first with one out, and Wilton Lopez comes in to face Morse.
Morse had good at-bats all night long off of Jordan Lyles, so he's going to have to face Wilton Lopez here, who has pitched very well lately. 6 consecutive scoreless trips to the hill for Wilton. And a big aggressive swing from Morse.
Morse homered in the 5th inning, singled up the middle in the 7th after lining out to right field in the 2nd inning, so he's really been right on the ball tonight. Lopez worked the Saturday game against the Pirates, an inning and a third, giving up 2 hits, no runs. Good sinker there, works for strike 2 for Wilton. Very, very good night for Jordan Lyles, but again, he will not be a winner. Nonetheless, you know, you look a lot at wins and losses on starting pitchers if you're a baseball fan. If you look deeper than that, which you really need to do to analyze a starting pitcher, you're going to find a lot to like about Jordan Lyles.
Wins and losses probably the least important stat in terms of evaluating a guy's performance. Obviously, it matters a lot on the bottom line. Run support has not been there for him in most of his starts. The Astros won his first start in Chicago. They've lost every game he's started since then, but a lot of them games like this.
Looping liner over shortstop into left center field. A hit That's hit number 3 of the inning, and Morse took the 0-2 pitch over Sanchez's head. Runners at first and second for Worth now. 3 straight hits for Morse.
Able to get in there on him a little bit, but not getting the sink that he normally gets. Instead of the ground ball to short, it's a line drive to left.
Worth is 0 for 3. Lyle's run support average is 3.26 for his 8 major league starts coming into this one. Ball 1 to Worth. It's Cleveland 4, Minnesota 2. They're in the top of the 7th at Target Field. Tribe trying to sweep that doubleheader at Minnesota. Two 2-0 to Worth.
Big opportunity for the Twins. Started play today down just 5 games in the standings to the Indians.
Two and 1 to Worth. Now Detroit is right there in the mix. A virtual tie with Cleveland coming into play today.
What's up with that facial hair he's sporting?
Not sure about that. Is that an old-fashioned mutton chop?
I'm not sure he's got work in there.
Kind of looks like a mutton chop with a bite out of it. 3 balls and a strike. Cubs lead the Phillies 6-1. They're in the bottom of the 7th at Wrigley. Carlos Pena hit his 20th home run. Now it's 3-2. And it's Nix on deck. Drew Storen is the Nationals closer, and he's a good one. Storen's been warming up. He has 24 saves this season. Jim Lett is the bullpen coach. Ball 4 loads the bases for Lance Nix. And now down by 1. The Astros really need some good pitching from Wilton Lopez. They love a double play ball. Nix is 0 for 3. Doug Brocail's going out. Left-handed hitters are hitting .333 against Wilton Lopez. 21 hits and 63 at bats this season. Fernando Rodriguez and Wesley Wright are warming up. That just bought a little time for those two guys to get loose. And also talk a little bit with Wilton Lopez about the plan. 28,975 is the paid attendance tonight at Minute Maid Park. Good Monday night crowd. Double play depth for Keppinger and Sanchez. And there's strike 1. Carlos Lee and Chris Johnson even with the bases there with the forced play at the plate. Nix has not grounded into a double play in 225 at bats this year.
We'll try to get him to swing at that sinker.
Pop up. Out of play.
Well, that ball was down around his shoe tops and he was able to get it airborne. So he understands what Lopez is trying to do. He's got a different notion. He's trying to stay inside the ball, trying to get it elevated. The slider in this at bat would probably be just for show from Lopez. I mean, if you give Nix a swing at it in there on his knuckles, he would take it. But He's going to try to get him to swing at that sinker, running down and away, get the ground ball. Coming fastball in here.
He fouls it.
Didn't get it in. I think Corcoran, his idea by calling that fastball in, he wants the ball well in off the plate just to push Nix back a little bit, make him aware of the inside part of the plate, and maybe open up a little room on the outside for that sinker. This dude is strong.
Yes, he is.
Built like a fullback. There it is.
1-2. Nix was traded by the Rangers to Milwaukee for Carlos Lee, along with Francisco Cordero in 06. In 09, he had 15 homers and 309 at bats for the Reds. That wasn't close enough to get him to go for it, and it's 2-2. Bases loaded with Zimmerman, Morse, and Worth, the base runners. Ramos is on deck. Big 2-2 pitch here. He bounces one over Carlos Lee and into right field, scoring Zimmerman. And now Morse to the plate. The throw goes toward third, and it's 5-2 now. Nix with a high bouncing 2-run single. Did hit the ball on the ground, but it took a high hop over a drawn in Carlos Lee to make it a 3-run lead.
That's a tough break. Trying to get the ground ball, got the ground ball, but had a big high hop in it.
So Brad Mills comes out with Ramos due up next. Lopez unable to retire a man of the 3 he faced. Morse singled, Worth walked, and then the 2-run single by Nix. And then we have a fan on the field. While the Astros make a pitching change, he will be removed. Score is 5-2 Washington. Back in a moment. The Astros have a new pitcher, and there's a pinch runner at first. Rick Ankiel takes over as the pinch runner for Lance Nix, who just knocked it 2 with that high bouncing single into right field. Fernando Rodriguez is 1-0. His ERA 2.61, and he will take over with runners at first and third in the inning.
Fernando more of a power pitcher than a ground ball guy, as evidenced by those strikeout numbers. 26 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. He's walked 7 men. Says he's not capable of getting a ground ball, but more of a strikeout fly ball pitcher.
Infielders move in tight. They can go for 2 with Keppinger and Sanchez there. And Ramos, the batter, he's 0 for 2. Ankiel is the runner at first. He just entered the game. Usually in these situations, when Ankiel comes in, he'll go into play center field, and Bernardino will move to left for the bottom of the inning. Big ninth inning for the Nats. They've scored 3. They've had 4 hits and a walk. Strike 1 for Fernando. Jordan Lyles in 8 1/3 innings allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, walking 1, fanning 6. Just a tough pitching line. The way he threw the ball, that is not indicative of the night that he had. Of course, one of those runs scoring after he left the game. But once again, very competitive tonight.
Yeah, well, we talk a lot about the quality start. 6 innings and 3 runs earned or less allowed. So I think I got a better chance to win most nights if I get 8 1/3 with 4 runs allowed out of my starter than I do if I give up 3 in 6 innings.
True.
I think the outing he had tonight gives you a better chance to win than the defined quality start.
Yes. It's got to be a sagging feeling to sit on the bench where he is right now. 1 and 2. And you wait 4 days, or in this case many more days, with the All-Star break for that start. Things start off so well. You had a no-hitter through 4. And then you wind up on the bench trailing 5-2.
Yeah, it tests you. We talked about it earlier. The adversity you have to deal with in this game, and then to be exposed to it at this level as a 20-year-old rookie. Start after start, you can't get that W despite some pretty solid efforts.
Foul with a runner on his way to second base. Ankiel was breaking.
And, you know, we talk a lot, and you hear front office people talk about it with players down in the minor leagues, and as they contemplate bringing them to the big leagues, and one of the questions is, well, is he ready? And that's one of the things they're talking about. How is he going to handle it if it doesn't go well?
Absolutely. They talk about it when players move up at any level in professional baseball.
Yeah, how will he handle it here? And not so much in Jordan's case, but in any young player, if in fact we do have to send a guy back down a level, whether it's from the big leagues to AAA or AAA to AA, how is he going to respond to that? Is he going to, throw a fit? Is he going to crawl into a hole? Is he going to crumble? Or is he just going to go, hey, let's go to work and get better?
Mm-hmm. Clay Hensley of Tomball got a win tonight for Florida, returning from the disabled list and winning at New York 4-1 over the Mets and Chris Capuano. Leo Nunez got his 27th save. That's foul and probably not playable for Hunter Pence. It is out of play.
Clay's first start in quite a while, and he went 5 innings of a 1-hit shutout ball.
Jack McKeon has been there for the turnaround for that Florida club. Marlins are now 15-9 since McKeon took over, and they won 9 of their last 10 with an ERA before tonight 2.44 in the previous 9. Nice block by Corporon on that curveball in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I believe the top of the 9th is taking as long as the previous 8 innings combined.
Yeah. Single, sack bunt, single, single, walk, single.
Mix in a couple of pitching changes.
And a few fake throws to the bases. And voila, you have a 9th inning with 3 runs home so far. And the Astros in the bottom of the 9th with Lee, Michaels, and Johnson due up. high pop. Sanchez out into left center field. Michaels is coming in. Sanchez calling. And here's the tag and the throw behind the runner, and they got him in a rundown. And now the throw to Corporon, and he tags him out.
What a heads-up play by Sanchez. Great heads-up play. He knew no way his work's going to go home. He's just trying to draw a throw, so he backdoored him.
Threw behind Worth, and he's out in a rundown.
Yeah, if he does go home, you look awfully bad, but that's a smart play.
Threatened to score again, but here's what happened on the pop-up with runners at first and third and one out.
Yeah, unlikely that'll have a significant impact on the game, but this is just a really interesting and intelligent play by Angel Sanchez. I don't know that I've ever seen this play, but it makes all the sense in the world. There's no way Worth is going to try to score on that ball. He's just trying to draw a throw, so he's bluffing down the line. And Sanchez, it's a bit of a gamble, you know, because if he doesn't stop and he keeps on going, then he's probably going to steal a run on you. But, you know, in all likelihood, he's taken 2 or 3 hard steps down the line to draw a throw home, and then he's going to retreat to third. So Sanchez comes in behind him with the throw, and you saw what it did to Worth. It just absolutely locked him up, and he went down before finally getting out in that rundown.
And alertness by Chris Johnson to pop over there to third and take that throw. Drew Storen is 24 of 27 in saves. He is 5-2.
Not a real big guy, but he's got a big right arm. Average fastball about 95 miles an hour. And we'll complement that with a hard slider and a once in a blue moon changeup.
Carlos Lee has doubled in a run and walked tonight. That's strike one with Ankiel in center and Bernardina in left, as you saw. Jason Marquis checking out after 8 innings of 6-hit 2-run baseball, walking 1, fanning 9. He's in line for win number 8 of the season through 103 pitches. Fly ball, and Ankiel comes in. Bernardina cuts over, and it gets between them. Lee heads for second base. That's his 27th double of the year and second of the night.
The first one was legit. This was a misplay by the newly aligned Nationals defense as Bernardina moves to left and Ankiel into the game in center. So you got 2 speedy guys both in pursuit of this ball, both there in position to make a play. Bernardina, they look like a lead blocker trying to take Ankiel out of the play. Because at the end of the day, he's not even looking at the ball.
No. As you saw, Rick could have caught it, but Bernardina caught his eye and he shied away. So now, speed can sometimes cause problems defensively for the team with those players.
Guys get involved in the play.
Yeah. Jason Michaels looks at ball 1. He doubled in the 5th and scored. He's 1 for 3. That's an opening for the Astros. Chris Johnson's on deck. Each club with 7 hits, no errors tonight. foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike to count for Drew Storen, a first-round pick in 09 from Brownsburg, Indiana. From Stanford University, where he was the closer.
I guess he's a little bigger than I thought. They've got him listed here at 6'2". He doesn't look it. Got long legs and a short torso, I guess is what it is.
Okay.
And then they get that stiff-legged delivery.
Yes, he does. Breaks that one off, and it's 1-2. Storen was a rare draft-eligible sophomore at Stanford. In high school, Brownsburg, Indiana, he was 30-1 with a 1.55 ERA. Two balls, 2 strikes. Chris Johnson, who's on deck, hit a homer off Storen in Washington last season.
There you go. J. Mike reaches. CJ takes him deep. He plays 16 innings.
Sounds like a plan. We have nothing to do tonight. Strikeout, out number 1. Let's go to Kevin.
Hey, just want to remind you guys, stick around after the game. It's Astros Live here from Brad Mills. Hoping to hear from Jordan, Lyles, and more. And guys, it's a little late to the party on this. It's not the first time that Jason Worth has been made to look bad on the bases. Remember last year on the intentional walk in Philadelphia? He was the guy at second base when Q picked him off at second base. So nothing new for Jason Worth on that. Let's go back to Brownie and JD, guys.
The adventures of Jason Worth versus Houston will be highlighted on Astros Live with Kevin after the game. Now CJ 0 for 3.
And there was something familiar about Jason crumbling to the ground there that rang a bell.
One ball, no strikes. Corporat is on deck.
Jason's thinking, it's against the rules of baseball. You don't throw behind the runner there. Teach you all the way up through.
Maybe you do. Foul back if you're sure he's not going, as you said. 1-1.
Sometimes you see an outfielder make a similar play when a guy takes a big turn around second. They'll throw the ball in behind, knowing full well he's just taking that turn to try to draw a throw to the lead base. And once in a great while, a base runner will round second, stop, and then take off and steal one on you that way.
High chop, foul. You saw the two pickoff artists talking in the Astros dugout, Sanchez and Humberto Quintero. They both got Worth in different ways. Q threw down the second for that intentional walk last year with Philly and got it. 1-2. These fans want to see some action here with a 1-2 count on Johnson. That is strike 3. 2 outs. Almost looked like Bill Welke didn't finish that. Let's see. Okay. Use the left arm.
But not emphatically.
No.
Like he was second guessing himself as he called it. Well, it started. I might as well finish.
The Astros 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and now it's Corporat. He's 2 for 3. Could be 3 for 3, but in the 7th inning, Desmond made a terrific play on him from the hole. Fred Wallace is on deck. That's foul for strike 1. Pitcher Spadu up next. Wilson Lopez did not retire a batter, giving up 2 hits, 1 run. He had 1 walk and no strikeouts. Storen did not pitch in yesterday's game in Atlanta. Nationals at one point had a 4-run lead in that, but that was earlier in the game than the closer would have been in.
Good think there.
0-2.
Tomorrow night it's Jay Happ making his first start of the second half against Jordan Zimmerman, youngster that He's really pitching well. He's 6-7, but a 2.66 ERA.
Yeah. He has lost 1-0. He lost 2 2-1 games. The appeal at third, and that's a strikeout to end it. It went to Marty Foster. He ruled it a swing. Carlos Corporon holding his hands out, and the game is over with the Nationals winning it to get back to 500 at 48-48. They get 3 in the 9th inning, snapping the 2-2 tie, and Davy Johnson's club comes away with a Washington win 5-2 over Houston tonight.